have a little bonus scrapbooking process video for you today. This is for my project that is exclusively on the Spiegelmom Scraps Instagram feed, and I'm playing along with Christina Sorge's NSD challenge, which was to scrap lift another one of the sparklers, and I chose Christy, and you saw my layout that I'm going to scrap lift at the beginning of this video. And I'm also going to be using the brand new Wild and Free sequin mix. And Christy as well is going to have another video on the Spiegelmom Scraps YouTube channel. She's going to scrap lift another sparkler, and then she's also going to use the Wild and Free mix. So these papers and embellishments that I'm using are all from an older click kit. Just these lovely bright colors. I decided to go ahead and use them, and now I'm going to cut a lot of circles and map my photos and do a lot of layers. And this was just a lot of cutting, a ton of cutting, because I wanted all of my papers to be outlined in black and all of my layers to be outlined in black. So I don't feel like this needs a whole ton of narration, because it's really just me cutting circles and black cardstock and getting all the pieces that I want for my layout. So what I'm going to do now is I have this picture, and the picture's black and white, and I thought that that would work real well with these bright papers. I think these are Bella Boulevard papers. Anyway, they were in an older click kit, and I didn't use them because I don't tend to not do brightly colored layouts, but I thought for this sequin mix, this was what was in my stash that worked well with the colors in the sequin mix. So I have this photo here. This is of our dog, and I follow Scrap Lifting Christie's layout pretty closely. Maybe I made it a lot brighter, and I put all, back to everything in black and those kinds of things, but I also decided instead of a banner across the middle, I would just do a strip of paper. So now I'm just going to lay out all these circles that I spent the time cutting up. And I'm going to add, this is also from that same click kit. These are exclusive die cuts that came in that kit. And I'm going to go ahead. Everything that I'm doing is getting some lovely gray ink on the edges. I have been loving, I used to use vintage photo distressing for all, everything. Recently I've been using a lot of this hickory smoke. So what I did here was I'm going to punch a bunch of hearts, and I'm going to use these hearts and some little circles from my little, like the office supply circle punch. That's what I used. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch those out, and I'm going to make, so this is the only nod to the fact that this layout is about a story about a dog. I don't generally like to use really themey products, or if I do, I like to use them in unique ways. So I don't have a ton of dog products, but for this layout, I love to do things like this. So we have these 3 paw prints, and they're subtle, and you can tell between the paw prints and the photo that this is a photo, that this layout is about a story about our dog, but it's not like in your face dog. Does that make sense? So now I'm going to work on my title. And Christy used, part of the reason I chose this photo in the story is because Christy had a really nice long title made with lots of different fonts on her layout, and I wanted to do the same. That was part of the reason I really liked the layout, was because her title, it overlapped her photo, and it kind of moved your eye across the photo and across the page, and I thought that that was kind of a really cool technique, and I'd never done a layout really like that before. So I chose a photo that needed a long title, or where a long title would really work well, and also a photo where there was a lot of empty kind of space in the photo that I could fill it with some of my lettering, and it wouldn't cover anything important in the picture. So I'm using all different kinds of fonts. The first one is these pink glittery fonts. They're from Heidi Swapp, and then these puffy stickers, they are from, I think they're from Studio Calico. They came in a Felicity Jane kit. probably almost 2 years ago, and I use them. I love them, but I just use them in little bits so they last longer. And then my favorite tile stickers from October Afternoon, and then these little cork. And I chose this cork font because I'm going to incorporate some of the cork elements that are in the Spiegelmom scrap shop. Now this is where I did kind of veer away from Christy's layout, is that I chose to add a little journaling card there. That's a Project Life card from the Knick Knack core kit, and I decided to use that so that I had some nice spacing for journaling. And I'm also adding some flare buttons. The yellow one at the back says funniest moment because this is, or funny moment, which this is a really funny moment. I really wanted the arrow there to point to the water dish, but it didn't look right, so it's up there. And I'm going to use these file tabs. Christy had used them on her layout, and I decided I was also going to layer up and use some file tabs at the top of my picture so that I could go ahead and stamp. Christy is Christy Harriman, who is also, she's another sparkler. She has a YouTube channel called Christy's Beautiful Life, and she's super duper sweet. And she also does really nice, amazing layouts. I really enjoy being on a scrapbook team with her. So if you are unfamiliar with her, you might want to check her out because her channel and her is, she's really just a really nice girl. And she just had a baby and she's adorable. Anyway, that's totally unrelated to this layout. So this little piece at the top says, what the? And it's from Crafty Jen Scowl. It's a set of cut files that she did with brush lettering, and she had them in her shop, and I really liked them. The only problem is that I didn't like the idea of, you know, like that what the dot dot dot. I didn't like the idea of people being able to like add a swear word in their head. So, because that's not how I intended it at all. So I'm going to fix some of that lettering up there. And now I'm adding some cork chevrons and that cork arrow. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take these letters and I'm going to fix that title up so that that little title up there looks finished, and your brain doesn't automatically add a bad word maybe. Anyway, so I wanted to make sure. I have a nephew that walks around all the time saying, what the what? So that's what I think of when I see that, but I know it's not the common usage. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to add some of these super cute tiny word stickers, which also came in that click kit. And I'm going to grab a couple that work with my layout and just kind of sprinkle them around. And next we're going to, I think that's it. I'm just going to go through and grab some of these, and then we'll start to work with our sequins. So for my sequins, I'm going to sprinkle them around. Like, you know, guys, I like to throw sequins on my pages. But I actually did a little bit more this time. So I took my time and kind of looked at where the sequins landed and flipped some over and kind of added them to my clusters the way that I liked it. And yeah, so that's going to finish our layout. I'm not going to have you go ahead and watch me glue them all down. That'd be mean, you know, who wants to watch doing that? Paint drying. So that will complete this. Just so you know, all of these awesome challenges for this that are on the Spiegelmom Scraps Instagram feed, they went up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they are open and available for you to use on your layouts. And for the rest of the month, you can use the hashtags that are at the beginning of this video, and also you can find them all over the place on the Instagram feed, and those hashtags are what we're using to find your layouts so that we can comment and see what you're doing, and we're going to have some prize drawings as well. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you again soon. Bye!